What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Brain Forge Book Club. We got a new book for you guys today. This is The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Jumpstart your income, your life, your success. Look at this book is all about how small habits, good or bad, can have a major impact in your life. So let's go ahead and jump in to everyone's overall thoughts on the book. First two chapters. Noah, let's hear what you got to say.
Yeah, so it was very impressive. The first chapter was a little bit slower because it's really trying to ingrain in your head just that small things compounded together, the compound effect can really just make a difference over time. But once you got into the second chapter, though, and I mean that first chapter was really necessary with trying to just ingrain it in your head. But once you get to the second chapter, it's all about choices and just how every small thing and all your choices can really affect you and make a huge, huge difference over time. What about you, Eric?
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, I think the first two chapters were absolutely fantastic. Two words that pop into my mind when I first think of the two chapters were expectations. Setting high expectations on yourself is only going to lead you to success, and that's pretty much it for that one. And encouragement. He's not telling you what to do because a lot of people don't like to be told what to do. He's encouraging you. He's encouraging you to do it because he knows it's the best option. It's the best way to go. So like encouragement to do it, or he doesn't care. Pretty much. That's what I got from it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's crazy. He's honestly a genius. A lot of what he said in the first two chapters were nothing but facts. So expectations and encouragement are what I have.
Yeah, I agree with what both of you guys are saying. My overall thoughts first is I really like the tone, kind of like what Eric was saying, in which it's written, where he's basically speaking from experience and saying, like, look, I have done this. I know that it works. I have coached people to do this. I know that it works for them. I'm going to give you all the necessary steps and tell you what you can do. If you choose to take that route, then go ahead. But if not, by all means, continue doing what you're doing. And like, he's not losing any sleep over it. He's trying to help
Exactly.
you. So it's up to you to help yourself at the end of the day. Uh,
Oh yeah.
and I really,
Uh,
I really like that because this dude didn't have to write this book.
Yeah.
He took the time out of his life to write this book because he found that maybe he could help other people.
oh
Um,
yeah. I mean, yeah. He says in the first chapter, especially that he's like by age 18, he was already had a six-figure job,
yeah,
and then by the time he was 27, he was he owned his own company that was worth like over $50 million, and it's like that's
yeah,
this guy knows what he's talking about.
yeah, for sure. Speaking
At a
of,
young age too. Like it's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
um,
You had to get going at 16 at that age.
what would you guys say is one thing that he said in the first two chapters that really personally applied to you, or you felt like maybe more than one thing that you could make a connection with? Eric, you want to talk
Yes.
about that, or Noah,
Yeah,
whoever?
I can go first. It
Yeah,
doesn't
you
matter.
got it.
Uh for me it was accountability. I mean, he says it the best in on page 25. You have to be willing to give 100% with zero expectations.
Yeah,
Whatever you do in life, it's a choice you've made, right? If something goes bad, you've done something that may have screwed that up. If you do something good, you may have done something that succeeded. But to me, I'm trying to take more accountability, and that's what stuck and hold heavy on my heart because I'm really trying to hold myself accountable for the
yeah,
things I do. Like if I eat something bad, that was my choice. I chose to eat a cookie at nighttime before bed. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? If
Mhm.
I didn't work out last night, it's because I chose to not work out because I'm shrugging my shoulders like, oh, I don't need it. It kind of gives me a little bit of that do something that stresses you out and limitless. And I know that's to go into the next question, but I just want to say that he says do something that stresses you out. Those little things that are in the back of your mind that you know you need to do, those are going to stress you out the whole day until you do them. And holding yourself accountable is big right now on me. I think that's my word for 2024 is accountability. And yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I have.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, just to keep it especially in line with what your goals are and what you want as your personal growth. Yeah, no, that's
hmm
awesome. One thing that like really stuck with me was especially when he was talking about getting lucky. He kind of defined luck, and I mean, a lot of people, well, we have different perceptions of luck. I mean, different perceptions among people from different cultures, but he describes a formula for getting lucky, which is
Hmm.
preparation and personal growth plus attitude, and that's like your belief or mindset, and then opportunity, which is a good thing coming your way, and finally action, which would be doing something about it, and all of that creates luck. So it's like, I mean, you can definitely be lucky, be in the right place at the right time, pure chance maybe, but those things are rare and few and far between. So if you really want to get lucky, you have to put in the work, and you can't just leave it up to chance. And that's really for me what stuck with me, because I want to just try and feel like I take action over my own life and my own possible growth. And especially just like what you're saying with that accountability too, is it takes luck and then accountability. Um, yeah, what about you, Cody?
Yeah, I'm pretty much on the same page. For me, one thing that stuck out mostly is like the whole premise that this book is built around. It's making just small positive changes that can really lead up to big things. I know in the past, like I've been guilty of trying to start something and I try to go all out, and then you try to go all out and you don't see the results you want, so you get discouraged and you give up. But in reality, if you just would have worked slowly at that thing over time, you would have seen a lot better success and not have gotten discouraged. And I came up with the acronym to
Let's go.
came up with the
No.
We love
acronym,
acronyms. Noah had
yeah,
one first, though. I ain't gonna lie.
to
Let's go.
to describe that. My acronym is goal. Goal as in like setting goals for yourself.
Mm.
So the G is gonna be for gradual progress. All right, gradual progress is the key to success. It takes time. No one is an overnight success, although they may appear that way. You think LeBron James got to be the best basketball player in the world by showing up to practice once or twice? No, LeBron worked his entire life leading up to that moment to become the best basketball player of all time. The O is going to be for opportunities. You need to embrace your opportunities. Kind of like the luck thing you were just talking about. He said he thinks luck is just when uh, preparation meets opportunity, right?
Mm.
And that makes a lot of sense. Like when a golfer makes a hole in one on a par three, that golfer has been training his whole life to make that hole in one. But as you mentioned, a lot of those guys will aim for maybe the center of the green on certain holes because they're trying to minimize their risk. And then they hit the ball slightly left or right, which is where the hole is placed, and they end up making a hole in one. So that's, you know, something there. The A is going to be for action. You need to be taking action in alignment with your goals. You can take all the action you want, but if the actions you're taking are not in alignment with your goals, like if you want to lose weight, for example, and then you're going out with your friends every Friday night and having this big blowout meal, you're not gonna lose weight, bro. Like you might have worked hard all week, but those things matter. Like it's not a day to day thing. It's an everyday thing.
Mm.
The last one is long term. View the bigger picture. Just like the G, gradual progress. Just view the bigger picture and stay on track. Don't lose motivation. Celebrate yourself, celebrate your wins, and just take pride in what you're doing.
That was wonderful, bro.
I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
that was
That was
beautiful.
wonderful. Yeah, man. You need to send me that.
I'll send you
Yeah,
that.
I'll have it
yeah,
posted on my
yeah.
board.
I need that like framed on my mantle.
Stop it. You're making me blush.
All right. Leading into the next question, what were some similarities from Limitless that you had in the first two chapters of the compound effect?
So right off the bat, when you take the cover off, they're both white with a little lettering on the side. And I did like that. They both look really cool.
They
But
are
it's
sleek.
also, yeah, and like I think you were talking about it a little bit earlier of like the tone is very similar. We had a quick prior discussion before we started this
No, we
and
didn't. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, but especially about the we were talking about how Jim Quick talks kind of to an audience like he's giving like a presentation, while Darren Hardy is more talking to you directly and like, hey, and like you said, Cody, with like, I can show you the secrets
Yeah.
that I have here and that I've amassed. Um, But yeah, and then subject matter is also very much the same. Is trying to instill in your head like you may have these things ingrained in you that you do like even habitually, subconsciously, but you can break these if you but you just have to put your mind to it. But you're capable of anything. I think those are what just two similarities that I saw at least from it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm don't need to say too much really. I pretty much am just on the same page as Noah. I think if there's one thing I will say is that from the mindset of Jim Quick to the mindset of Darren Hardy, you can really see how both of them speak from a place of success and having that self-made success. Really, like I don't know what the best way to put it is, but they're speaking from a place where they, I guess, just know what the frick they're talking about, right? So they have no reason to lie to you or tell you to do things the wrong way. They're just trying to help people. And I think the mindset of those individuals, it's hard to explain it, guys. Just read the book, you'll understand what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
like the mindset of these individuals is very similar. I think success requires a certain mindset, and that's reflected in both of these books.
Right. Absolutely. And that's what I was going for too. Mental strength. I actually have two, but mental strength is one of the biggest ones. Out of the two books that we read so far, these two has crazy mental strength. They have to think positive. If they think they're a loser, they're going to think loser things. If they think they're incredible genius, they're going to think like a genius. They're going to feel like a genius. Mental strength is a big part of each of these successful people's lives, man. The way they think, the way they maneuver, apply themselves. That's my next word is actually application, applying yourself to do these things. Because if you study a notebook for a test, or excuse me, if you study and on let's say religion and don't go try to debate on it, you're not really applying yourself. If you learn how to shoot a basketball, if you're learning from YouTube how to shoot a basketball and you're not going to the court to shoot a basketball, you're not applying yourself to even get better.
Yeah.
A lot of people think them watching somebody doing something it's going to transition into real life, but it won't.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So go out and shoot those basketball. The go out and shoot the basketball. You just watch a whole Steph Curry video. Go try to shoot like Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying? So applying yourself is a big one for me. Sorry for rambling a little bit, but I was trying to get my thought across.
Oh, that was great. That was
No,
great.
you're good, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
lately I've been from this book trying to implement just some small habitual changes that I can do. Like for instance, I want to get better at drums. So I've been trying to allocate like 15 to 30 minutes at least a day just to try to I'm hopefully increasing more, but just to try to get into the feel of it again. And 'cause I used to play a little bit, but and then I'm also trying to limit my spending habits a little bit more to just to save more money that I normally would might be wasting on something small like a Red Bull. But yeah, and just trying to make little changes. So, are there any small habitual changes that you guys have seen maybe from you after reading this book you've recognized that you feel like you might be able to try and overcome or want to change, or any habits that you want to add into your life?
Yeah, I would say for me for sure this has kind of been going on a little bit, but this book just helps you reinforce those ideas, right? Um One thing for me, like eating when you're bored is the big thing that a lot of people do, and cutting out like pointless snacking is one thing for me. Just and if I am really gonna eat, it's like eat an apple, bro. Like if you're actually hungry, eat some fruit or something. You don't need to eat chips and dip. Like if you're, that's not, that's not, it's not
Yeah.
providing you with nutritional value anyway. Um, that's one thing. Another thing is just I have a whole routine now that I try to do, and it's like small things that take place throughout the whole day that lead to like just a successful day as a whole. That's about it for me. Eric, what do you got?
For me is I'm trying to hone in and really lock in with knowledge. Um by the way, guys, I'm nowhere from perfect. And when I say this, I just want to, show vulnerability to you guys that
Wait.
I'm nowhere perfect.
Yeah.
What?
That's all right. No, I was just say, if you said you're nowhere from perfect, does that mean you're perfect, or what does that mean?
Who invited him?
No. I'm just saying, it's like I'm
Okay.
nowhere for perfect. But what I mean by this is that I'm trying to explore and learn more from whether it's from a book or even online. Like when I spend my time on my phone, I really try to learn from people like podcasts or even like watchmaking, learn like different intricate type of things. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And don't get me wrong, like I'm saying, I'm not perfect. Of course, we talked about this before, this weekend actually, me and Cody did. Like I
Yeah.
still have my fair share of entertainment and stuff like that. But when I'm more on my phone, I kind of want to be on my knowledge stuff, learn from people that have success, like Tony Robinson, like Patrick Bet Davis, like all those good podcast people. And yeah, I mean, I'm trying to really lock in and just indulge and suck everything in like a sponge. So me is knowledge.
Yeah.
That's what I have so far.
Yeah. No, you already talked about yours. Just before we do the outro, I guess, what's one thing? Just a little filler question. Like, what's one thing that you read in this book that you were like, that is crazy? Like, just one thing you saw where you're like, bro, that, because he gives a lot of like cool examples, I think, throughout the book. So, no, what's one thing maybe that you read that you were like, dude, that's insane?
Well, I have a good thing and a kind of a thing that I didn't quite agree with, and that
Okay.
was I really like when he was talking about he mentioned the stats between difference between the number one golfer and then the number 10th golfer, and like the number one golfer Brooks Koepka had only like 0.32%, the strokes less per round, but the difference between him and Webb Simpson, who was number 10, was $5 million in that
Yeah.
earnings that year. And that was
Yeah.
a kind of thing that blew my mind. It's like this small little difference, like zero point 0.3 strokes in a round of golf can make that much difference in money. And the thing I
Yeah.
wasn't a huge fan of in the start was he kind of gave a bunch of examples, and I can understand where some of them were coming from, but he mentioned one thing about like they had these three guys. One does bad habits, one does nothing, and one does good habits. And the guy who does bad habits gets really like out of shape and starts really picking up some bad things. His life starts falling apart.
Mhm.
The guy who does good stuff gets up there. But I feel like there were a few examples or like traits that might not necessarily be bad things. Like the guy who falls off, he started baking, and I feel like on some level that could be good, like learning to bake and getting in
Yeah.
like a
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
and
he was saying like once the guy
yeah,
started baking, he was eating like
like
muffins every
eating,
day and
yeah,
shit. So, yeah,
shoveling that in,
yeah,
but I thought, and then also he talked about like they're like definitely watching documentaries like that aren't gonna change anything about your life are definitely one thing because he mentioned if you sit at home, even if it's watching a documentary, but I definitely feel like there's stuff that you can watch that actually betters you. Like
yeah,
for instance, I like
100%.
to watch stuff about like foreign affairs because I'm really interested in that kind of stuff. And so, but I feel like it's definitely if it's taking control of your life, then that's definitely where it gets to be a problem. But if you're learning from it, then I feel like that's a good thing. But other than that, I absolutely loved the first two chapters. And they were good examples too. It's just maybe not like I thought they might not be always that bad.
Yeah, they were hypothetical, so
Yeah, the height. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
exactly. I get what you're saying.
We love a disagreement, Noah. No worries,
Yeah.
brother. Good job. Good job. Cody, you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go ahead. So the whole premise that the book is built on, right? The compound effect. He talks about if I gave you a penny that doubled in monetary value every day for 31 days, or if I gave you the choice of $3 million right now, what would you take? Now, if you've heard this before, you know the answer. You take the penny that doubles in value every day for 31 days. But this is an example of how slow and steady wins the race. So at the end of day 20, your friend will have that $3 million. You who took the penny will have only $5,000 20 days in. And that's not an exact number. That's just pretty close to what you'll have. Now, when day 29 comes around, you will have just short of $3 million, still less money than what your friend has of the 3 million. On day 30, you will finally surpass your friend and have just over $5 million. And on day 31, you will finish with $10 million, all from that single penny that doubled in value every day for 31 days. So that was one thing I thought was pretty crazy. And that just goes to show how the compound effect is one of the strongest forces there is. Slow and steady, small changes can change your life. And then another thing, which was kind of similar to what Noah was talking about with the golfers, a horse wins by a nose, literally a photo finish every time. And that horse that wins first versus second is millions of dollars of difference. It's not about how much you win by or how much better you are. It's about, you know, like just the preparation. That horse maybe took a few extra laps around the track, or the jockey was putting in extra work with the horse and the training staff tried. You know, it's, you don't have to be the best. You just have to be willing to work harder than the people around you. That's two things. I guess I'll just go ahead and make it an even 3, right? He talks even 3, an odd 3. But he talks, a quote that I really liked that he said in there was, successful people can always attribute success to their hard work, but oftentimes people who are failures attribute their failures to other people. And that's, at the end of the
Point
day,
finger.
yeah, at the end of the day, it's up to you, bro. Get it done
Exactly.
or quit whining about it. That's really all there is to it. Eric? Or
That was
Noah,
strong.
whichever one of you. I don't remember.
No
who it
already
was.
said his.
Gotcha.
Mine's a little basic. Of course, before we start this podcast, I wanted to read this chapter again. Both of them, you know, so they're so good. I wanted to read it again. But I mean, I guess the one that I've highlighted, I need to highlight more. But I guess the one that I highlighted was, have you ever been bitten by an elephant? Have you ever been bitten by a mosquito? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Basically, him just saying about how the little things in life will bite you in the buttocks.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't even realize that the small things are hurting you more than a lot of the big things. He says, for most of us, it's the frequent, small, and seemingly I can't even say this word. Basically, the choices that are I'm talking about decisions you think don't make any. So the decisions that you make that you don't think really take big part of your life are the biggest ones that will affect you. Yeah, that's pretty much what I got.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. No. Yeah.
Go
No.
ahead.
I got what you're saying. Yeah. It's like the small good things you're doing is the same thing as the small bad things you're doing. Like the guys Noah talked about. That guy was having one alcoholic beverage a week or something like that, and at the end of 3 years, he was like 30 pounds heavier or something like that. Yeah, it's just, and that was a small thing he was doing. He just liked to have a little fun, have a beer on the weekend or something, you know?
Yeah. And Cody, you helped me right there. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem, dude. That's what we're here for. So, all right,
Exactly.
guys, go check it out. The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Jumpstart your income, your life, your success. This is a fantastic book, guys. The first 2 chapters were awesome, and I really think a lot of people can benefit from this book and taking those small steps, because there's a lot of people that need those small steps, man. Especially if you've gotten to a point where, like with your weight, for example, where you're extremely overweight. You're not just gonna jump back in the gym and go hard and lose a bunch of pounds, man. Like, just start walking every day for like 5 minutes a day and just let that translate into something a lot bigger. And that's can go for just about anything in your life. So catch us next time, guys. We're going to be reading probably the next 2 chapters or something like that. Not sure yet. We'll talk about it after this video, but peace out. Love y'all. See you next time.
Nobody believes in you. You lost again and again and again. The lights are cut off, but you're still looking at your dream, reviewing it every day and say to yourself, it's not over until I win. reviewing it every day and say to yourself, it's not over until I